Hi, welcome to Vietchkovsky Tarot with me, Vietchkovsky. Now today's angle is brought to you by not owning a tripod, getting rid of all your rubbish so you can't have anything to use as a tripod, and terrible lighting. I'm recording in the middle of the day, which is something that I don't normally do. I normally record at about 3 in the morning, so this is new for me as well. But today I'm doing a video on Pluto Retrograde. Now Pluto Retrograde is normally a time for really big transformations, really uncovering hidden truths, uncovering repressed emotions and feelings, and embracing bad habits and learning how to change them. So I am doing a pick a card reading for how it's going to affect you, what we should look at for you. So we've got 7 cards for 7 different questions, and we have got: how does your power show up in life? How can you use this power for change? Where does control show up in your life? What are you reluctant to let go of? What hidden truths can become that you do need to be more honest about? How can you purge what no longer serves you? And finally, we have a message from Pluto in general. Before we get started, I've got all my links in the description below, and I now have a Patreon. So if you would like to become a patron for only £5 a month, this gives you access to daily card pulls, collective group readings, horoscope style readings, as well as pick a card readings and what you would normally get for free. So please sign up to that and enjoy the video. All the timings are in the description below, so thank you. Okay, so if you completely skipped the introduction and you made it to this part of the video, we are on pile 1, and I don't remember which ring I used, but I'm pretty sure it was this one here. Okay, so we've got 7 cards representing 7 different questions. So where does your power come in life? We have got the Ace of Swords. How can you use this power for change? We have got Temperance reversed. Where does control come in your life? We have got the Hermit reversed. What are you reluctant to let go of? We have got the Queen of Cups reversed. What hidden truths need to be uncovered and honest about? You've got the Page of Swords. How can I purge what no longer serves me? We've got the Seven of Swords reversed. And a final message from Pluto, we have got the Three of Swords. Now, immediately looking at this reading in general, I am getting this sort of idea that if you pick this, you're very logical, you think very logically. This is all about, this whole reading has a sort of mental energy to it. It feels like a lot of what is going on right now is sort of in your own thoughts and sort of channeling your own thoughts. So where does your power come from? We have got the Ace of Swords. Now this card implies to me that your power shows up in your way of thinking and your open-mindedness. Now this is not saying that you don't have your own opinions. You do have your own opinions, but you can appreciate others' own opinions and another person's point of view. You are very admiring of and respectful of other people's opinions and new ideas and new opinions, and you can take them on, but that does not mean that you're a follower. You sort of just use these opinions to learn and to teach yourself, and you are very keen to do so. You are very keen to build on what you already know and what you already think, in a very healthy and respectful way. Where can you use this power? Now, Temperance reverse implies to me that you can use this power to sort of have more of an understanding where conflicts come from. You can use this to have a deeper knowledge of misunderstandings. You can realize through these different opinions where people can bounce off of each other and where they might collide and where they might clash. And I feel like it's helped you particularly in your personal life with being quite quick to notice these things that you can sort of channel through misunderstandings, and it helps in a positive way because you can then mediate what people are hearing and what they're actually listening to, and whether they're being respectful of others' opinions or of your own opinions, and vice versa, whether you are being respectful of their opinions and being willing to hear. Now, where does control show up in your life? We have got the Hermit reversed. Now, I feel like this card resonates quite nicely with the Ace of Wands, with this idea that you have spent a lot of time in sort of solitude. You have very much spent a lot of time in solitude to sort of get to know yourself, but through this you've sort of had this sacrifice of having to learn when an opinion is respected and when an opinion is not respected, and when an idea or when a thought is being listened to. I feel like this card resonates quite nicely with the first two cards that we went to, because it feels like you've gone through a real journey of learning where your value is and where your worth is and where your energy is best spent. I feel like it's taken perhaps quite a time, and it's been quite a dark period at times where you feel like you're not getting through to people, but you're learning to control who you bring your energy out towards, so that you know that you're getting the utmost respect from people, and you're surrounding yourself with people who give you this feeling of respect. Now, in terms of what you're reluctant to let go of, we have got the Queen of Cups reversed. Now, with the way that I've got my cards laid out, it feels to me that what you're reluctant to let go of is the people who have wronged you in the past, so to speak. It feels as though perhaps with the Hermit, that through these learnings of where your energy is best spent and who you're best working with, you've gone through obviously a lot of people who have wronged you. And I feel like something you're reluctant to let go of is to have this sort of nurturing feeling towards these people to create more harmony. I feel you're quite quick to hold a grudge, and I feel like you're not ready to let go of what has happened in the past, and you're not ready to try to create a balance with these people. And obviously that is down to you completely. It just feels that the reluctance is coming from you sort of not wanting to rock the boat, I guess. You sort of not wanting, it almost feels like it's a pride thing. You, in a sense, that you don't want to, as she sits on a throne, you don't want to come down. You don't want to be the first to reach out, and you don't want to be the first to try and calm this. So for what hidden truths need to be uncovered and need to be more honest about, we have got the Page of Swords. Now, this card implies to me that something that you almost need to remind yourself of is where you've come from. It feels as though, as we said with the Hermit and with the Queen of Cups, that you've been through so much debate and so much conflict and so much time on yourself to get to this position of open-mindedness, that when you speak to someone who might not be quite on the same level as you, you almost forget where you started. You almost forget that not everyone has this same point of view as you, and it's almost as though you need to be more honest with yourself about how far you've come, and you need to be more honest with yourself about how far you still have to go, because obviously you learn something new every day. There's always something unexpected coming your way that you can learn from, and I feel like this card is urging you to be more honest with yourself, not necessarily with other people, but more honest with yourself about where you've come from and how far you still have to go. Because we never stop learning. We never stop learning at all. We're always still learning each day with each new experience. And it's not in a sense that you are naive, because you are obviously knowledgeable and you are obviously been through a lot, but you need to remember that you don't know everything, and that's something you need to be more honest with yourself about, which is in no way a bad thing, because we're all learning. Okay, so how can you purge or no longer serve you? We have got the Seven of Swords reversed. Now, it almost feels as though to me that this card resonates quite nicely with the Queen of Cups reversed, and there's almost a sort of element of vanity to this card, with the same sort of feeling that of pride that came from the Queen of Cups. And it feels as though you already know what to get rid of that no longer serves you, because you went through so much with the Hermit, and you went through so much with the Page of Swords and with Temperance, that you already know what you need to release, and you already know how to release it. You just sort of are almost the one that's holding yourself back. You just sort of have to let go, essentially. You can't keep holding on to the people in your past who have wronged you. You have to sort of just let it be and move on with yourself. You've got so much ahead of you that you almost can't even look at the moment, because you are so focused with what's happened, that you could be progressing and you could be learning new things, but you are holding yourself back. So it feels like perhaps Pluto retrograde is going to be a time for you to transform in this way and to learn to let those people go. Okay, and finally, a message from Pluto. We have got the Three of Swords, which is, if anything, just ties this whole reading together with this idea that you need to spend Pluto retrograde learning how to let go, and you need to learn how to let go in a healthy and stable way, and you need to learn to approach this loss with balance and with clear thoughts and with a secure way of thinking. And you just need to learn to move forward, and you need to learn to move past this, because I feel like ultimately what is holding you back is people from the past who just aren't doing it for you anymore, and people who aren't willing to come forward, and if they do, you aren't going to get the result that you are hoping for or looking for. So that was the reading for pile number 1. I hope you enjoyed it. Please let me know in the comments if you did. I've got all my links in the description below for Facebook, Twitter and Instagram, so you can follow me on there to get involved in these pick a card readings and free reading Friday. I'm also on Patreon, so if you would like to become a patron for £5 a month, you can get daily collective readings, daily horoscope readings, daily card pulls, and it is only £5 a month, so the description is in there below. And it also means that I can continue doing this and I can continue moving. So thank you for watching. I really hope you enjoyed the video. Please let me know in the comments. So if you made it to this part of the reading, we are on pile 2, and this is your message for Pluto retrograde. We have got 7 cards in front of us for 7 different questions, and we have got, where does your power show up in life? The Four of Swords reversed. How can you use this power for change and positive reform? We have got the Five of Wands, which is not focusing. Where does control show up in your life? We have got the Magician. What are you reluctant to let go of? We have got the Eight of Cups reversed. What hidden truths do you need to be more honest about? We have got the Ten of Pentacles. How can you purge what is no longer serving you? We have got the Moon reversed. And a final message from Pluto, we have got the Three of Pentacles. Okay, so we will start with the Four of Swords reversed as where does your power show up in life? Now this card implies to me that your power comes from sort of thinking and acting with hesitation. It's almost as though you aren't so quick to jump into everything, and that is sort of a very positive trait to have. You like to think through everything that you're doing and everything that you're sort of approaching and everything that is coming before you, so that you are fully aware and fully prepared for what you're about to get into. It feels like you really may have struggled in the past with sort of jumping into things without thinking about them, and it's now at an opportunity where you think things through first. You actually go through each outcome in your head, and you make sure that you are in a place where you can accept what is coming before you. How can you use this power for change and positive reform? We have got the 5 of Wands. Now, this implies to me that while progress may be slow, it is still progress. You are using this power to really move forward in a very clear way. You have a very clear path ahead of you whenever you get into something, whenever you are faced with a problem or a project or just something that could cause a rocky road. You make sure that your path is clear before you begin anything, and you sort of allow it to present itself to you in a way. You make sure that you can almost see the final outcome before you get started. How does control show up in your life? We have got the Magician. Now, I feel like the Magician resonates quite nicely with what we said about the 5 of Wands, with this idea that you wait for a sign, you wait for a signal, you're patient and you're open, and you're always looking. You're not closed-minded to it. You're always looking for the signal. You're always looking for the sign and willing to embrace it when it shows itself to you. And your control is having this patience to allow this sign to show itself to you. You're not exactly wasting all your energy trying to find it yourself. You're definitely allowing it to present itself to you, and when it is ready and when you are ready, you are willing to go forth with it. There's definitely, moving on to the next card of what you are reluctant to let go of. This entire reading, there's definitely this indication of this lack of balance and this lack of connection with what you have and what is going on around you. So for what you're reluctant to let go of, we have got the 8 of Cups reversed, and this card kind of implies to me that something that you're reluctant to let go of is perhaps maybe at times in the present, or maybe at times in the past, you've been quite misunderstood with your approach to project or your way of thinking, with this hesitation that you have towards things. And I feel like you're sort of reluctant to let go of this feeling of being misunderstood, which overall doesn't allow you to see the power that you get from being hesitant and waiting for signs to come before you. I feel like it's something that is part of your, not downfall, but it's something that holds you back. It's this fear of being misunderstood and this sort of general sort of neglect of letting this feeling go that is holding you back from achieving what you could be achieving. So moving on to what hidden truths do you need to be more honest about? I feel this 10 of Pentacles card resonates quite nicely with the rest of the reading, with that you need to be more honest with yourself with how much strength actually comes from this way of thinking, how much strength comes from being patient, and how much strength comes from actually knowing what you're getting into, because then you know the value of what you're actually putting your energy into. You actually have something worth sort of relaxing with, finding comfort with, and finding protection in. You're you sort of forget the strength and the grounding that comes from this hesitation that you have, and this slow approach to situations, and this slow approach to what you have before you. Perhaps because of this Eight of Cups card that we discussed, where you're worried about being misunderstood because of your slow approach, because others might be speeding off ahead of you and you might just be teetering on behind them. But that's okay, because that's where you have grounding, and that's where you have protection, because you would rather sit on something and find comfort in it rather than just diving straight forward and pushing forward with something and have it go absolutely tits up, so to speak. How can you purge what no longer serves you? We have got the moon reversed. Now the moon, while it is pretty much the same upright and reverse, it basically implies that the way that you can remove what no longer serves you is by removing those who make you feel misunderstood, and removing those who do not sort of work in the same way that you do, and removing what does not fit your way of thinking, and what does not fit your way of handling reality, so to speak. You need to stop giving your all to those who are going to make you feel misunderstood, and giving your energy to those who aren't going to work well with you, which basically ties in with this message from Pluto with the Three of Pentacles, that during this transformation period you'll find people like-minded and who work the same, who can put a plan into action in a way that works for everyone, and progression can be made from it. I know I'm talking about this in a situation kind of way, but I do feel like this is very much to do with planning or organization or some kind of material aspect. But obviously it's how it resonates with you at the moment and what you are currently going through at the current time. But it definitely feels like there is something about misunderstandings in this, and there is something about not having harmony with people, and sort of longing to kind of fit in to the point that you're sort of setting yourself up to not feel comfortable and not feel as though things are actually working in your favor. So that was the reading for the pile number 2. I hope you liked it. Please let me know in the comments if you did. As I said in the introduction, if you didn't skip through it, all my links are in the description below, and I've also started a Patreon. So if you would like to become a patron for only £5 a month, it entitles you to daily card pulls, daily collective readings, daily horoscope style readings, as well as the pick a card readings and the free reading Fridays that you would get for free over on my Facebook page. So please follow the links in the description below to find me online, and you can always inbox for your own personal readings, and pricing is dealt with during the reading. I hope you enjoyed your video. Please let me know again, and go give this a like and a subscribe. So thank you. Okay, so I'm unhappy with this lighting, but unfortunately I'm losing daylight, and this is all that I have in my wagon. So we are on pile 3. If you've made it to this part in the video, we are on pile 3 for my pick a card reading for Pluto Retrograde, and we are going through 7 different cards for 7 different questions. Where does your power come from in life? We have got the 10 of Wands. How can you use this power for positive change? We have got the 8 of Pentacles. Where does your control come in life? We have got the 7 of Wands. What are you reluctant to let go of? We have got the 3 of Cups reversed. What truths do you need to be more honest about? We have got the 6 of Cups. Ow, that's hot. How can you purge what no longer serves you? We've got the Fool reversed, and a general message from Pluto. We have got the Two of Wands. So we will start with the Ten of Wands for where does your power show itself in life. And this card implies to me that your power definitely comes from your sort of lack of fear to connect with people. You are definitely very easy to get on with people. You're definitely very easy to find this sort of common grounds with people. Sorry, I'm gonna get rid of that because I am not Billie Eilish, so I can't do space buns. Okay, so you are not afraid to make connections with people. You are not afraid to have a fresh start with people, and you are not afraid to sort of find this common grounds, to sort of synchronize with people. You are very easy to sort of find a connection, not only with people though, this is with projects and things you put your energy and your mind to. You are very quick to find a connection and a way that it can benefit you, and a way that it can give you this sort of new awakening, this new sort of this fresh start, so to speak. It can give you a new possibility, and you're very quick to sort of find this in life. How can you use this? We have got the Eight of Pentacles. Now this implies to me that you can use this to teach others as well as teach yourself. You are very much focused with learning new skills, which obviously resonates quite nicely with it, and you are very willing to share these new skills with others. There is a lot of back and forth connection, connectivity in this reading. There's a lot of real socializing, and there's a lot of real sharing with people. There is a good back and forth energy, as I said. Both keen to be learner but also teacher, finding your groundings with what comes your way, and just having this general willingness to learn and to teach. How does control show up in your life? And we have got the Seven of Wands. Now there is such a good sort of balanced energy in this reading. There is a lot of growth and coming together of energies in this reading, and I feel like your control comes from a sort of having this knowledge of sort of getting things done. Your control comes from knowing where the balance needs to be made and where the balance needs to be found. There is a lot of action in this card, and then there's a lot of movement in this card, that you know just the right level of things, you know just the right people to collaborate with, you know just the right people to work with, you know just the right amount, and you know how it benefits you and you know how it benefits others. What are you reluctant to let go of? Now we have the Three of Cups reversed, which implies to me that in the past, perhaps somewhere that has got you to where you are today, is this idea that you were very quick to pour yourself or to spill yourself and to release your energy to people who did not deserve it, or people who did not reciprocate. You have been very quick to trust others, and you've been very quick to pour yourself into projects and people who haven't reciprocated or who haven't brought you anything back, and therefore you haven't really gotten anything out of it. You haven't gotten what you were putting into it out of it. You were literally just expelling energy and expelling emotion for no gain and for no growth. And it feels as though you're sort of reluctant to let this go, which is why your main focus at the moment seems to be based on who you can actually work with and who you can actually communicate with and who you can actually trust. And that sort of comes before actually getting to know someone. What hidden truths do you need to be more honest about? This card, again, it resonates quite nicely with the Three of Cups, with this idea that you need to be more honest with yourself about what you've been through in the past. You need to be more honest with yourself about what you've actually sort of gone through and how you've actually come out of it. You need to be more honest with yourself, with not seeing it as something that's weighing you down, but seeing it as a learning experience, and maybe actually finding some independence. I feel like, even though I said at the beginning that there was a lot of balanced energy, now that we're actually delving into it, it feels like you were quite reliant on others. You were quite reliant on there being more energies around you than just yourself, even though you've sort of been hurt in this similar way in the past. I feel like something you need to be more honest with yourself about is how you are actually able to do things alone. You are actually able to pull yourself out of these things alone, and what you've been through has been alone, and therefore what you can pull yourself out of can be alone, and you can be alone to do this. So then we move on to how can you purge what no longer serves you. And it feels like, as I've been saying in the last two cards in particular, we've got the Fool reversed. So it sort of implies to me that a way that you can release what no longer serves you is to not so blindly rely on others, and not be afraid to move on by yourself. Again, as I said with the Six of Cups reversed, it feels like, as I was saying in the beginning, there was a lot of balanced energy, and there was a lot of being quick to find connections, and there was a lot of really trying to find synchronicities with people. It feels like you need to release that, because it's clearly not doing your sort of self progression and your individual journey any good. You need to actually learn to trust your intuition and to trust your instincts and to go forth by yourself, so as to not become completely reliant on others, and so as to be able to move on with your journey. And finally, a message from Pluto. We have got the Two of Wands. Now, I really think that if you follow through with the general guidance that this reading is giving you, Pluto is urging you to learn to stand on your own 2 feet and to grow by yourself, and to plant a seed that you can actually watch grow by yourself. And I feel like you do have this ability to do so. I feel like, again, this seems to sort of refer to projects. This seems to refer to quite a creative aspect of life. I feel like you do have this ability in you. You just need to learn how to unlock it. And perhaps this is what Pluto retrograde is going to do for you. Perhaps you are going to transform, and you are going to learn to be more independent and to find your own 2 feet and find comfort in it and help yourself in this particular way. Now, that was pile 3. I apologise for the lighting change halfway through, and I apologise for how horrendous it is. If you skip the introduction, I've got all my links in the description below, and I've also started a Patreon. So if you'd like to become a patron for only £5 a month, you can have access to daily horoscope style readings, daily collective readings, daily card pulls, as well as free reading Fridays and pick a card readings over on my Facebook page. So if you just want to give those links a follow and find me on there, I'm also available via instant message for your own personal reading. Now I'm going to go sort this lighting out for pile 4. Okay, so if you made it to this part of the video, we are on pile 4 for your message for Pluto retrograde. Now we have got 7 cards representing 7 different questions. And we have got, how does your power show up in life? We have pulled the World. How can you use this power? We have got the Wheel of Fortune. Where does control show itself in your life? We have got the King of Swords. What are you reluctant to let go of? We have got the Four of Cups. What truths do you need to be more honest about? We have got the Hanged Man reversed. What can you purge that no longer serves you? We have got the Seven of Cups. And finally, a message from Pluto. We have got the Five of Cups reversed. Now, we will start with the first question. Of course, we have pulled the World for where your power comes from. Now, this card implies to me that you are quite a confident person. You are quite secure in yourself. Or you do have the security in yourself. There's a lot of connection with all sort of aspects of your being. There's a lot of connection with the material side of yourself, the passionate side of yourself, the mental side of yourself, and the emotional side of yourself. It's all very connected, and it is all very secure in itself. There's also this implication of being seen as quite a leader. There's this ability to be quite a leader, sort of being able to embrace this more assertive side of yourself, and sort of being seen as by others and yourself as this sort of beacon and this person to come to for guidance and for assurance, and which obviously stems from this connection with yourself and what you have going on around you. Now, how can you use this power for change? We've got the Wheel of Fortune, which ironically is a card all about change, and it feels like it's a change within yourself and within this connection that you have with what is around you. You are really aware of what you manifest, and you are really aware of what you portray and what you put out into the world, and you are very in tune with the change that you bring and the change that goes on, be it big or small. The Wheel of Fortune normally represents big changes, but obviously this could be to do with small changes as well, and things that you wish could happen and things that you just want to see happening in your life and going on for the people that you have around you. How does control show up in your life? We have pulled the King of Swords. Now, again, this ties in really nicely with the World card, and it resonates with it in the sense that you are quite a headstrong person, you are quite an authoritative person, a sort of being assertive kind of comes to you naturally. You kind of find it very comfortable to be in control, you find it very comfortable to be on top of things, to be grounded, and you don't tend to allow your heart to get in the way of making decisions. You are very headstrong, and you are very sure of your actions, and what you're doing is not being swayed by how you feel and your emotions. You're making sure that what you go forward with and what you go ahead with is thought out clearly and thoroughly, so there are no complications and there is no sort of heartache or trauma that comes with it. What are you reluctant to let go of? We have pulled the Four of Cups. Now, this sort of conflicts with the last three cards, with this idea that what you were sort of reluctant to let go of is this sense of control and balance. Now, it feels like, particularly with the King of Swords, with the layout of the cards, you can see that they are staring directly at each other. And there is this sort of conflict of not allowing your emotions to come through, so to speak. It feels like you're reluctant to let go of this control that you have mentally to not express your emotions. You're sort of reluctant to allow your emotions to spill or to come to the surface, and you tread very lightly when it comes to bringing an emotional side of yourself to a person or to a situation or to how you think. You're reluctant to let go of this control that you have, and you're reluctant to let go of this balance that you want to keep your emotions in check with. So for what hidden truths you need to be more honest about, we have got the Hanged Man reversed. Now this kind of reflects the entire reading with this idea that you are very used to and you're very comfortable with being alone and dealing with problems or dealing with dilemmas by yourself. And the Hanged Man reverse kind of implies that something you need to be more honest with yourself about is how it is actually affecting you, how by controlling and having this need to control everything that is going on around you, how it is actually causing you to be pulled so tight to the point of breaking, much like a rope. If you pull it too tight, it will get to the point of breaking, and it will get to the point of snapping, and you're not being honest with yourself about how the stress that comes with needing to be in control and the stress that comes with needing to deal with everything by yourself has this effect on you. And you need to bring this to the surface so you can actually realize the emotional toll that being in control is having on you. And sometimes it is good to release this tension, and it is good to release responsibility so you can have more faith in the universe and you can have more faith in what is happening around you to guide you, rather than always being ahead of the game and always being the one to put things in their place and to get things moving and to get things going. So for how can you purge what no longer serves you, we have pulled the Seven of Cups reversed, which resonates quite nicely with what we were saying with the Hanged Man reversed, with this idea that what you need to purge during this retrograde is coming from within you, and it's more to do with this tension that you have within you. What no longer serves you is this tension to be by yourself and to take control of things by yourself and to deal with things by yourself. And you need to sort of realize what you actually have around you and the support system that you have around you and the emotions that you actually have to keep you in check. And it's almost to the sense that you're trying so hard to stay above everything, and you're trying to so hard to keep your head above water, that you're sort of missing this, and you're sort of not realizing just what you have that can help you. And it's almost in the sense that you need to learn to relax, and you need to learn to have more faith in those around you, that you can just lean back and float with what's going on, rather than trying so hard to keep yourself above water and trying so hard to keep yourself from drowning. So it feels like this purge is really having to look within yourself. This entire reading seems to be looking within yourself and focusing on yourself currently. So finally, as your message from Pluto, we have got the Five of Cups reversed. Now, while at the beginning we were saying that you were quite connected and everything, it does feel like your emotions do take a back seat above all. So while we were saying, so for your message from Pluto, we have got the Five of Cups reversed, which sort of implies to me that perhaps for your transformation for Pluto retrograde, it's time to start actually acknowledging your feelings and what you take away from what you're going through or what you've been through. While we were saying at the beginning with the world that you're very connected, it does feel that you can still have this connection even if your emotions take the back seat. But I think it's time that you actually start to acknowledge them and you actually start to let them come through a little bit more. And the Five of Cups reversed sort of hints at, or sort of urges you to actually acknowledge and learn from and take away from experiences. The Five of Cups urges you to sort of acknowledge how a situation or how just something that you've been through actually made you feel, and actually what you can take away from it, whether it was happy, sad, frightened, whatever the emotion was, you need to use it in order to learn, and that will help you in your transformation, and that will help you in your overall manifestations and your overall view of self and connection with yourself and what you have around you. So that was my Pluto retrograde reading for pile 4. Please let me know what you thought in the comments, if it resonated with you. As I said in the beginning, I've put all my links in the description below, and I've also started a Patreon. So if you'd like to become a patron for only £5 a month, you can have access to collective readings, daily horoscope style readings, daily pick a card pulls, as well as my free pick a card readings and free reading Fridays, which happen over on my Facebook page. So please get involved there. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Okay, so if you've made it to this part of the video, we are on pile 5 for your message for this year's Pluto retrograde. And we have got 7 cards representing 7 different questions. We've got, how does your power show up in life? The 4 of Pentacles. How can you use this power? The 4 of Wands reversed. Where does control show up in your life? We have got the 6 of Wands. What are you reluctant to let go of? We have got the Queen of Swords reversed. What are hidden truths that you need to be more honest about? We've got the Page of Cups. How can you purge what no longer serves you? We have got the card Strength. And a general message from Pluto, we have pulled the Sun. Okay, so we'll start with, how does your power show up in your life? And we have got the 4 of Pentacles, the 4 of Pentacles. Now this card implies to me that you are quite, or you can be a quite patient person, and your power comes from this patience and this tolerance. It feels that sort of whatever experience you're currently going through, whatever you could be going through, you're very patient and willing to allow it to grow in front of you. You're allowed to watch it happen, and you can be quite comfortable to sort of sit by and allow it to happen. You're very you have this very strong ability to be calm and give things the time they need to grow. And I feel that you can use this power for change with the 4 of Wands reversed, with your approach to stagnant periods and your approach to times in your life where you're not going to be in control and you're not going to be so sure of what is actually going on around you. Even though you may have your heart and soul into this project or what you're experiencing, you have this real power in you to just be sure and be certain and think, whatever's going on, it's meant to happen. Whatever will be, will be. What's going on right now is for the best and will help me grow eventually. That rhymed. How does control show up in your life? We have got the 6 of Wands again. Now I think this really resonates quite nicely with these last 2 cards, with this idea of patience and with this idea of waiting. You are very your control comes through again with your patience and with your ability to wait and with your tolerance of your journey perhaps being paused or your journey perhaps being blocked, and you just being able to sit tight and allow it to reveal itself to you. You're allowing it to show you the way, and it's a great sense of control to not feel pressured to push yourself forward when you're not ready or when the path in front of you hasn't been cleared. Now it feels for what you're reluctant to let go of. We have got the Queen of Swords reversed. Now it feels to me that this card is sort of implying that you're very reluctant to accept outside help, and you're very reluctant to sort of be shown the way by others. It feels like where you've built up this control and this power in being patient and in being able to wait for things to come to you, that you're very reluctant to let someone else take the driver's seat, so to speak. You're very reluctant to let someone else take the lead and to maybe bring something to you that you weren't quite ready for. You're very quick to turn your back to it. You're very quick to sort of shut it out and sort of almost wait for the next thing, and sort of just, even if it's not necessarily serving you, it feels like sometimes you can miss that point and you can hold on to something for too long, which is sort of where it holds you back a little bit and where you can be too patient. So, which I sort of feel resonates quite nicely with the next card being, what hidden truths do you need to be more honest about, with the Page of Cups. I feel that this sort of implies that you can at times be a little inexperienced, as we said with the Queen of Swords, that perhaps sometimes you might be holding on to something that isn't actually doing you any good, and you're very quick to shut people out who are trying to show you that. You can have this same experience with the Page of Cups, where you will hold on to something and you'll just tread the water with it, you'll just try and keep going with it, you'll try and find some kind of meaning from it, but overall it will not serve you any purpose, and it will not serve you what you actually need. And I feel that you need to be more honest with yourself about when it's actually necessary to allow someone to show you the way, and when it's actually necessary to admit that you don't actually know what you're getting into and you're not actually sure what you're going to get out of it, and you need someone to assist you in some kind of way. Which moves us on quite nicely to how can you purge what no longer serves you, and we have got strength, which very obviously means finding the strength within yourself to actually admit defeat, to actually pull yourself away from what is no longer serving you, and actually be the one to find this confidence, and to find this confidence in vulnerability, and to find this confidence in realization. And sometimes you need to be the one to push yourself forward, and sometimes you need to be the one to allow someone else to push you forward, and sometimes you can't always just sit back and watch things happen ahead of you. Sometimes you do need to take more action towards what is not going your way. So finally, as a message from Pluto, we have got the Sun, which kind of, I feel, resonates with the Queen of Swords and the Page of Cups cards that we pulled, with this idea that your general message is to find connection, and is to find people who are bringing you light, people who are bringing you life, and people who are really helping you through and helping you see these shining things about yourself, and to seek connection with these people to help you grow, and to not be so afraid to allow someone else to take control sometimes, and to allow someone else to sort of push you forward and give you that push. So that was my reading for pile 5. I hope you liked it. I hope it resonated with you. Please let me know in the comments below. As I said at the beginning, all my links in the description below, and I've also now got a Patreon. So if you'd like to become a patron for only £5 a month, it entitles you to daily card pulls, daily horoscope style readings, as well as weekly pick a card readings and free readings Friday that I do on my Facebook page. So please go follow those down below. It's very much appreciated. Thank you for watching, and I will see you again soon. Okay, so if you made it to this part of the reading, we are on pile 4, and this is your Pluto retrograde message. We are doing 7 cards for 7 different questions. So we have got, where does power show up in your life? The 10 of Swords. How can you use this power? The Page of Pentacles. Where does control show up in your life? We have got the Knight of Pentacles. What are you reluctant to let go of? We have got the Knight of Cups reversed. What hidden truths do you need to be more honest about? We have got the Ace of Pentacles reversed. How can you purge what no longer serves you? We've got the King of Pentacles reversed, and finally a message from Pluto. We have got the Tower. Now, immediately looking at this reading, I feel like with all the pentacles and all the earth energy, I feel like you are someone who appreciates material things. You're someone who appreciates being grounded and being sort of in an environment. You're very much more focused on your environment than you are so on yourself as a person. But if we'll look at the power that you have, where does power show up in your life? And we've got the Ten of Swords. It implies to me that you have this really strong ability, whether you know it or not, to withstand a lot of negativity. You have this ability to really see through and to stay strong and keep yourself standing tall no matter what is sort of thrown your way. You, perhaps without knowing, as I said, you have just been able to do this your whole life. You've just been able to sort of keep yourself going mentally, and it's really paid off. It's really given you a lot to think about. It's given you a real strong personality, and it's given you a really strong way of thinking. How can you use this power? We have got the Page of Pentacles. Now, this card implies to me that you can use this power to sort of still find excitement in embracing new endeavors. You sort of have this really fresh excitement for almost anything that you put your mind to at the moment, and anything you sort of get involved in. As I said, this is sort of more to do with material aspects of life, but you have this ability to find new, fresh excitement in sort of any endeavor that you sort of put your mind to, and anything that you sort of surround yourself. You're always looking to find the good out of what is coming your way. Where does control show up in your life? We have got the Knight of Pentacles. Now, I feel like the Knight of Pentacles kind of implies that control shows up in your life when you can sort of tell yourself, and you can sort of allow yourself to be aware of when enough is enough, so to speak. You have this real ability to sort of know where your progression comes from, and to know what is actually pushing you forward and when it's worth looking somewhere else. And you have this great sense of control in terms of when to look for direction. You have this great sense of control to know when you've sort of reached your limit and you need to have a look for a new sense of help, or a new sense of direction, or just a sort of new idea of how to approach or how to keep going. So in terms of what are you reluctant to let go of, we have got the Knight of Cups reversed. And now this card implies to me that we've got a lot of movement going on in these last two cards. So it feels as though what you're reluctant to let go of is you're reluctant to sort of allow yourself this pause. You're reluctant to sort of give yourself this time to sort of reflect on your emotions. You sort of, I feel, are so concerned with keeping moving, keeping things going, keeping things around you, making sure that you're grounded where you are in your environment, that you don't remember to ground yourself in your emotions. You don't remember to sort of, with this power that you have to stay strong, you don't remember to look back and reflect on how you're actually feeling. You're not giving yourself this time to pause and this time to just look at how far you've come, or look at where you could be going next, because you're so concerned with keeping on moving once you get started with something and once you find something new. So we move on to what hidden truths that you need to be more honest about. We've got the Ace of Pentacles reversed. Now, I feel like this ties these last four cards in quite nicely together with this idea that you need to be more honest with yourself about when it is too much, when you are in excess, when you've got so much on your plate that it's no longer allowing you to grow. It's no longer giving you success or giving you this feeling of gain. As I said at the beginning, we've got a lot of earth and we've got a lot of material aspects to this reading. So I feel like you're someone who likes to surround yourself with things of value, things that are considered worthy to you, but you're not being honest with yourself about when it is too much. You're not being honest with yourself about when you are going into the point of excess. And so for how to purge what no longer serves you, we've got the King of Pentacles reversed, which again kind of ties these cards together with this idea that perhaps it is time to just take a stand. Perhaps it is time to actually just sort of admit defeat, so to speak. Perhaps it is time to sort of just realize just what you're going through at the moment and just what you've got at the moment, and to understand what does not actually give you this feeling of power and what does not actually surround you with this feeling of wealth. I use the term wealth. I know it refers to money, but I feel like wealth can be seen in sort of just what you have around you that brings you value and what you have around you that you consider valuable. Okay, so finally we have got a message from Pluto, and we have got the Tower, and I feel like this card in particular is going to test the Ten of Swords cards that we had at the beginning, the Knight of Cups card that we just went through, and the King of Pentacles card. And this is an idea that you are currently going, this retrograde is going to be quite chaotic for you, and I feel like this is exactly almost a given with this idea of releasing what no longer serves you, being sort of things that you've built up around you. So the Tower is sort of bringing you a new perspective. So Pluto retrograde is going to transform you in your terms of perspective and transform you in your terms of value and what you have going on and what you actually have around you. And I feel like while it may seem like a very chaotic time, it is something that you do need to go through and you do need to power through in order to come back stronger and to come back reawakened and with this new perspective. So it's just sort of a case of being honest with yourself and actually embracing the chaos, so to speak. So this was my reading for pile 6, actually. I don't remember what number I said at the beginning, but this was pile 6. I hope you liked your reading. Please let me know in the comments if you did. As I've said at the beginning, all my links are in the description below, and I've also started a Patreon. So if you'd like to become a patron for only £5 a month, you can get daily collective readings, daily horoscope style readings, as well as free reading Fridays and pick a card readings that I do over on my Facebook page. So please go give me a follow. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Okay, and finally we are on pile 7. So hello everyone who picked pile 7. This is your message for Pluto retrograde. We have got 7 cards representing 7 questions. So we have got, where does your power come from? King of Wands. How can you use this power? 9 of Swords. Where does control come from? Ace of Cups reversed. What are you reluctant to let go of? The 6 of Pentacles reversed. What hidden truths do you need to be more honest about? We have got the High Priestess reversed. You can see her there. How can you purge what no longer serves you? We've got the 8 of Wands. And an overall message from Pluto, we have got the 5 of Pentacles. Okay, so we will start with, how does your power show up in life? And we have got the King of Wands. Now, I feel like the King of Wands is a very passionate person, he's a very authoritative person, and he's a very creative person. So I feel like your power comes from sort of this real fiery sort of passion within you, and I feel like you are sort of very headstrong and very assertive in your energy, and I feel like your power comes from being dominant with this assertive energy and sort of finding comfort in it, and sort of, I feel like it comes more from when you are doing something that sort of sparks creativity in you. You have this real drive to sort of push yourself into those sort of situations and to put yourself into scenarios where you can actually unleash this creative energy that you have. How can you use this power? We have got the 9 of Swords. Now this card implies that you use this, or you can use this, to overcome sort of things that have gotten you down in the past, or things that are there to push you down. You have this real ability, perhaps if it is a creative outlet, you have this ability to turn it into something to get your voice out, and you turn it into something to express your emotions and how you're feeling. And this is creativity in any form of the word, not just to do with painting or not just to do with drawing. This is creativity in any sort of form of expression. And I feel like you have this ability to use your power of assertive creativity and expression to overcome what should be holding you back and what should be weighing you down. So then we have, where does control show up in your life? And we have got the Ace of Cups reversed. Now this implies to me that your control sort of comes through this sort of feeling of overwhelmed, or feeling overwhelmed. I feel like this card resonates quite nicely with the last two that we just went through, with this idea that you don't really allow yourself to feel overwhelmed. You sort of try and get these emotions out whilst you still can. You really try and push them onto a canvas or into a dance or into, as we said, something creative that lights this fire within you. You have this really strong ability to not allow yourself to feel overwhelmed and not allow yourself to not be able to grow, so to speak. And there's a lot of control in that, and there's a lot of control in actually being able to channel your emotions in this way. What are you reluctant to let go of? We have got the Six of Pentacles reversed. Now this card, I feel, kind of really sort of ties the last three cards together with this idea that whilst you are able to channel your emotions and whilst you are able to sort of not allow them to build up and not allow them to overwhelm you, you are reluctant to let go of what has brought you doubt in the past and what has not, and what has let you down in the past. Much like with the Nine of Swords that we were saying, that you are able to overcome these feelings, I feel like you are also reluctant to let go of them. I feel like even though you are able to express them, you are able to get them out, they still sort of have this weighing sort of feeling on you, which doesn't allow you this confidence to sort of branch out, this confidence to sort of realize the time and the patience that it's taken you to get to this point, and the time and the patience it's taken you to grow. So then we move on to what hidden truths do you need to be more honest with yourself about? And we have got the High Priestess reversed. Now, and it feels to me that perhaps what you need to be more honest with yourself about is very much going inward and very much learning about yourself. You need to be honest with yourself about just where you've actually sort of not, you have channeled emotions but you haven't acknowledged the feeling behind them. And I feel like what you need to be more honest with yourself about is you're sort of very quick to sort of isolate yourself, and you're very quick to revert to solitude when you could be reaching out. And this, I feel, comes back to the Six of Pentacles reverse, where we said that you have this sort of doubt in the back of your mind, and you have this sort of panic, or not panic, but you have this worry in the back of your mind that you're reluctant to let go of, which prevents you from branching out and reaching out to people because you're so focused on channeling your emotions in your own creative way. And I feel like you need to be more honest with yourself about when exactly you are doing this. When exactly are you being too quick to shut people out? When exactly are you being too quick to shut yourself away? When exactly are you just trying to disregard and ignore what you're actually going through because you're so focused on everything being fine and trying to get these emotions out in your way, as opposed to actually talking to someone and actually talking with someone. We then move on to how can you purge what no longer serves you. And I feel like this card, the Eight of Wands, really ties in nicely with the Six of Pentacles, again with what we were saying about things in your past that have not brought you growth and have brought you doubt rather than growth. And I feel like what you need to purge in order, how can you purge what no longer serves you, is almost by acknowledging them, but in a way that makes you realize where you are now. And sort of this card shows that you have real potential ahead of you and you have more steps to take, but you're so focused on your past and you're so focused on what's happened behind you that you need to sort of acknowledge it in a way that shows you how strong you are today, and that they're not getting you forward, they're not recreating steps, they're just staying behind you, they're just staying as steps to take you down, they're not regrowing as steps to take you up. So I feel like it's just a sort of sense of acknowledgement in this reading. It's a sense of acknowledgement and recognition. So finally, we have our message from Pluto, and we have got the Five of Pentacles. Now, I feel like the Five of Pentacles is sort of saying from Pluto that your transformation during this retrograde is going to be reaching out. I feel like something that you need to bring to light, a bad habit that you need to sort of acknowledge this retrograde is your lack of reaching out, and I feel like that will come to you this retrograde. I feel like you will actually find this comfort and this grounding and this mental sort of drive to reach out to others, and maybe even not in a sense to help you, but maybe in a sense to help them, and just realize what comes with this sharing and what actually can develop with this sharing and what can actually be done when it comes to expression and talking about what's going on for you. So that was my reading for Pluto Retrograde for pile number 7. I hope you liked your reading. I hope you enjoyed it. Please let me know in the comments. As I said in the beginning, I've got all my links in the description below, and I've also started a Patreon. So if you would like to become a patron for only £5 a month, it entitles you to collective readings, daily horoscope style readings, as well as free reading Fridays and pick a card readings that I do over on my Facebook page. So those will be happening daily, and it's only £5 a month, but it really helps me out. So thank you very much for coming. Thank you very much for watching your video, and I will see you next time. Okay, so that was my Pluto Retrograde pick a card reading. I don't know if you're going to make it to this part of the video, but if you do, hey, that's great. I'm just going to recap everything that I said at the beginning because some people might not have watched the beginning. All my links are in the description below. I've also started a Patreon, so if you'd like to become a patron for only £5 a month, it entitles you to daily horoscope style readings, daily collective readings, potentially more videos, more access to videos, and as well as free reading Fridays and pick a card readings that I do over on my Facebook page. So please get involved with that. Like and subscribe so I know that I'm doing something right. Leave me a comment if you liked your video. Leave me a comment if you just want to talk, or if you want to leave me a question. I'm always available for personal readings as well. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter for those, and I will get back to you with your reading after you send me a question. So thank you again for watching. I really hope you enjoyed the video. I hope Pluto Retrograde is a very good time for you and a very good time to transform. So thank you.